If you're over 20, you've probably seen a slide that looks something like this when it comes to intros. It doesn't matter if you're in corporate or if you're at school, I guarantee you've been exposed to or maybe even used the slide vomit that can happen on intro slides. Well, we're gonna fix that. And we're gonna do it really just using reformatting. We're not going to actually change any of the content on the screen, which I think goes to show how powerful design can be in presentations. So I'm gonna duplicate this slide. The first thing we need to do is have some better start to the presentation. This leaves you feeling sad and empty on the inside, and no one likes that. So I'm gonna make this all caps. I'm gonna change the font to match what we have on the actual intro slide, which is Montserrat. I'm gonna change that to Montserrat. Great font. I'm gonna bold it, and I'm gonna make it significantly bigger, set it to the middle, and center it up. I'm also gonna throw on my guides so I can see the exact center. I think also it needs some sort of contrast. We'll end up probably putting a picture behind it. That'll come later. For now, I'm gonna go ahead and throw in a square. I'm gonna send that backwards, make it black, but not true black. So it looks a little bit different. And then I'm gonna open the format pane so I can adjust the transparency of that. Something like that. And then I'm gonna change this over to white. So we'll come back to finish that out, but that's already looking way better than that. I'm gonna duplicate this one more time so I have it to reference easily. And let's clean it up. We don't need any of that. For now, let's take away all the text and focus on these pictures. They're all kind of smushed in different ways. So the first thing we're gonna do is fix that. That's already a lot more manageable. One of the main problems with this was that it was information overload. You didn't know who to look at, you didn't know what to look at. And we want to intentionally guide your viewers through your presentation. So let's make all of these fit to size. So that's already way better than what we had before. It has a lot of balance, you care about the face, you feel like human connection, and we only ever really need to introduce one person at a time. So we'll start with Justine, the CFO. I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate that just in case we wanna go back to it. And I'm gonna make her a little bit bigger, bring her forward, make sure she's also at the top there. And we'll just move the other pieces off to the side. And now we just need to add the text on top. I'm gonna grab my overlay from the team here. We're gonna shrink that down to fit over Justine. Send that back just a hair. And then again, make this white. And I'm gonna create a better distinction between the title. So I'll make that bold. I'll also make it all caps. It will communicate, hey, this is the title. And then this is information about the CFO. As I'm looking at that, I think the name's the most important thing. And so what I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna leave it all caps. I'm just gonna change the bold and change the justification on it. And then I'm gonna make everything a little bit bigger. I wanna make sure that this is a slightly bigger than our body because it tells the people sitting in the audience, hey, this is the title. This is the most important thing. But what I want to happen is for this to morph really cleanly from this slide. So in order to do that, we're going to need to copy both of these elements, paste them in, and the text we're going to need to make transparent. So I'll go ahead and do that. And then our box, we want it to have that growing effect. So I'm going to shrink it down and also make it fully transparent. So I'm hopeful when I apply the morph transition here, it all comes in really smoothly. So now we need to think about how do we keep some information on screen and really smoothly transition to the next person. So I'm gonna use this as my reset state. I'm gonna go ahead and copy that. So now everything is back in the position that I want it in, except for I really want Justine's title to still appear. So I'm gonna drop that down so that the other text will disappear, and as it shrinks back down, this will persist. Next, I'm gonna grab both of these and paste them on. We'll use that in just a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the way that we would read, at least for English. So we'll make that, again, a little bit bigger. Make sure it's in the front. And then we'll slide Justine over. We'll make this a little bit bigger as well. And we'll slide our friend, what's his name? Alan. We'll slide Alan down. Now we just gotta grab Emily's information and we'll throw it into our text box right here, copy the formatting, and this should be 28. Perfect. And I'm going to keep everything in this top right corner. So I'm gonna right justify everything on this. Now we just gotta bring everything in, format it like we want it to. I'll time lapse this. Okay, let's apply the morph transition and test it. And that didn't do exactly what I wanted it to do. So we're gonna fix that. So there's two ways we can address this. The first is we could just use always reset back to this slide, because then we can play around with some stuff. But the other is if we go to home and we open the selection pane, what's happening is that this box is getting confused with this box. It's saying, hey, I think those are kind of the same thing. And so what I want to do is use 2 exclamation points. This tells PowerPoint, hey, this is a very specific rectangle, and we'll make sure it's named that across the various slides. So this is Justine. And now if I go over and select the rectangle here, I'll make that Justine, and I can select that rectangle and it's now Justine. This one is going to be Emily. And again, same deal. I'm gonna go back here and we're gonna make that rectangle Emily. So now when I morph it, it works like we would expect it to. I'm gonna time lapse this to finish the other two and show you the end result. And I think what'll really round it off is if we have this same information and same stuff behind our original team. So we'll send that all back, and this is what we end up with. And sure, that's a lot more effort than throwing everything on the screen, but people will remember it. It'll be seen as more professional. Probably get better grades and have more fun doing it. If you don't want to go through all that effort though, this and all my other templates and stuff that I've made is on my Patreon. Feel free to support me there. Hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching all the way through.